Coming up, Philippine Tzu Chi volunteers conduct home visitation in Ormoc to understand the needs of Haiyan survivors. Inmates at the花莲prison in Taiwan donate what they can to help those affected by the Kaohsiung gas blast. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. Ahead of the construction phase at the prefabricated homes for Typhoon Haiyan survivors in Palo, Ormoc, and Tacloban, Philippine Tzu Chi volunteers are conducting the first phase of their home visitations. In Ley Province, 48 volunteers from Tacloban separated into teams to visit over 1,900 families in Ormoc. As these volunteers are also disaster survivors themselves, giving the news that this recipient will soon be able to move into a new home was especially emotional.
After Typhoon Haiyan devastated the Philippines in Barangay 16 Concepcion, Ophelia Mendoza and her son has been living in this temporary dwelling.
Super excited na.
I am very excited because it is our dream to have our own home. Volunteers next visit Violeta Siok by the way of boat. The show of love and care touched Siok deeply, who has been living in this house without a roof since the typhoon. Whenever it rains, the river overflows and floods my house. It gets to be about knee-high. The volunteers conducting these home visitations are residents of Tacloban, who were also affected by Haiyan. Tzu Chi has helped us before. This is our way of reciprocating our gratitude, and we also get to help others. Wanting to pay Tzu Chi's love forward, 48 volunteers from Tacloban arrived in Ormoc City to give the survivors the good news. Among the volunteers are Manolo de Castro and his daughter, who finally realized their blessings.
Originally, I thought I was the most impoverished, but now I know. There are more people out there that are less fortunate than I.
Gaining the strength to rise from the fall, Faye Obobo and her husband are active in Tzu Chi's events. After Typhoon Haiyan, I didn't want to live. Since participating in Tzu Chi's events, however, I've come to realize that I should help others.
They think this trip was very worthwhile, as the volunteers were able to help disaster survivors move into a home of their dreams.
In 3 days, the team of volunteers visited over 14 barangays and 1,933 families in Ormoc City. In encouraging other disaster survivors to bravely face the days ahead, they too gained the strength to move on.
The July 31st Kaohsiung gas explosions have highlighted the issue of underground pipeline safety among several other problems which need to be addressed, as the petrochemical industry is quite important to Kaohsiung. From a long-term perspective, how can the city ensure its citizens' safety and quality of life while allowing the petrochemical industry to continue to develop? Let's find out more in our next report.
More than a month after the Kaohsiung gas blasts, construction workers are still racing against time to repair the damage. The petrochemical pipelines at the blast site have all been removed, leaving only utility pipelines and underground box culverts. The Kaohsiung city government hopes to complete all repairs within 3 months, so residents' lives may return to normal as soon as possible.
These gas or propylene pipelines should be kept away from here, otherwise we will always be afraid.
We don't want our lives to be impacted by these industrial pipelines. Nobody wants petrochemical pipelines running beneath their homes, and although the central and local government have been unable to reach a consensus, the residents' expectations, however, are very clear. Even if we remove these petrochemical pipelines, it doesn't mean the problem goes away. It affects the Renwu and Qianzhen area too. So even if they are temporarily removed, nobody can guarantee we won't be affected by those areas in the future. I agree that petrochemical operations should be centralized. As a city that once thrived mainly on heavy industries, In recent years, Kaohsiung has evolved to create new and vibrant industries. For instance, the Old Port area in Yancheng District has been redeveloped to promote the city's tourism and culture, while the Kaohsiung port will become a commercial and trade zone. Furthermore, the city's first light rail line is scheduled to be in operation by next year.
With these new development opportunities, we will no longer allow such industries to pollute our city. The same goes for our shipbuilding, yacht making, and logistic industries. We will not tolerate the pollution caused by these industries.
However, surrounded by petrochemical and industrial parks, how best to handle this sticky situation is a test of the central and local government's wisdom.
What we should do is to reevaluate the geographical layout of these industries. What the government plans for Kaohsiung will be important.
Experts are not only concerned about Kaohsiung. Densely populated Taipei City is also vulnerable to disasters, as it is situated on top of a shallow sedimentary basin.
We haven't experienced large seismic activity in Taipei metropolitan area for more than a century. However, the risks are getting greater and greater. In the likely event that such disaster does occur, taking into account Taipei's population and infrastructure, the consequences will be unquantifiable.
Wang Zhonghe says only by evacuating people populated in the center of the Taipei Basin to other cities and counties can the city enhance its preparedness and resilience against disasters. While some people remain optimistic that without the petrochemical pipes running beneath the streets of Kaohsiung, the city is now relatively safe, local residents, however, disagree.
The government should come up with a comprehensive plan. Although we know that these pipelines will continue to exist, their management and regulation need to be more open and transparent.
All the data shows that the pipelines buried beneath the ground belong to the CPC. These pipes were not transporting gasoline, but in fact petrochemical raw materials.
Only by learning from these mistakes and taking action to prevent it from happening in the future can we turn crisis into an opportunity for reform.
In May, a third-year college student in Taichung, Taiwan, stormed into his girlfriend's house carrying a knife after she decided to break up. The young man not only stabbed the girl's father, but also killed her grandfather. Facing the offender, the girl's father, who is a Tzu Chi volunteer, decided to forgive him.
I just instinctively turned around and grabbed the knife.
When Mr. Wu's daughter broke up with her boyfriend, the young man charged into their home with a knife, not only killing Wu's father, but also leaving him severely injured. However, Mr. Wu decided to forgive the offender.
My father won't come back to life even if we sue the young man. I decided to forgive him because he is still very young.
As the offender is only 21 years old, Mr. Wu pled to the judge as he hoped to give the young man a second chance.
He told the judge not to give the young man the death penalty. He even thought that the life sentence was too harsh.
It is great that you forgive him. By forgiving him, it will be easier for him to re-enter the society in the future.
Mr. Wu is a Tzu Chi volunteer. He says Master Zheng Yan's Dharma has helped him let go of the hatred.
If I kept the hatred in my heart, I won't be able to move on with my life. I will be living in misery.
By forgiving the killer, Mr. Wu hopes what's left in his heart are love and forgiveness, and that his family can face the days ahead in peace. In Kaohsiung, Taiwan, the underground gas explosions damaged numerous residential buildings, including the home of 64-year-old Huang Qiuju. A manhole cover blast entered her home, causing extensive damage to her roof. Touched by the volunteers' continuous care in the days following the accidents, Huang decided to donate the money she received from Tzu Chi for repairs to those in greater need.
Seeing Tzu Chi volunteers arrive at her doorstep, Huang Qiuju's face lights up with a smile. With her 3 children all working away from home, she lives alone most of the time. Tzu Chi volunteers' care in the days following the Kaohsiung blasts has made her days seem less lonely.
We all thought it was an earthquake. We were nervous and worried because we have all been through the 9/21 earthquake and it was horrifying.
Volunteers make their way inside the crowded living room. The items lying around have in fact been moved down from the top floor. On the night of the accident, a manhole cover blasted into Huang's home, puncturing her roof and denting her floor.
The manhole cover smashed through the asbestos tiles, hit the steel frame, the pool table, and landed here.
Fortunately, Huang was not injured, but only shaken up by the ordeal. Tzu Chi volunteers brought condolence cash to help her with the repairs, but she kindly declined their gesture.
The repairs are costly, but it's all right because my children all have jobs now. So I hope this money can be given to someone who needs it more than me.
Grateful that she was not harmed in the disaster, Huang decided to pay this love forward to help others in need.
In today's series on finding that dream job for college grads, we'll tell you how schools in Taiwan are helping their students break the curse of low salaries. The solution is an industry academic cooperation program, where a school teams up with several companies of a specific industry to help train students for that industry. Meanwhile, students enrolling in the program will be able to work for these companies to gain real-life work experience as they study.
Xiao Yuqing has been part of the Industry Academy Cooperation Program at her school since freshman year. She now works 4 days a week and studies 2 days a week.
At first, I wasn't very interested, but as the program continued, I began to realize that it is not that hard.
Now the young lady has no problem getting down and dirty and has become a confident machinist.
Though I cannot go out and have fun like other college students, by giving up partying and choose to work instead, I think I am gaining a lot more in return.
Students who enroll in the co-op program will receive their college diploma, co-op program certificate, and technical certificate upon graduation, which beefs up their credentials. They are considered as employees, not as interns or temporary laborers, to companies participating in the program.
The government guarantees college grads will start off making $700 a month. But for students in our program, they make just about that as a freshman, and they work only 4 days a week.
Xiao Yuqing's classmate Wang Junyan also works for the same factory.
Many of our classmates begin frantically sending out their resumes and try to land an interview as they approached graduation. But those participating in the co-op program didn't have such a problem.
The co-op students are passionate while innocent. To employers, they are a fresh addition to the workforce.
In school, Xiao Yuqing gets to combine her work experience and the lessons she studies in class.
Compared to other college students, I got a head start in my specialty and also gained 4 years of work experience.
While many graduates wander aimlessly searching for their future, these young people have already begun their career. As soon as he graduated, Wu Zhixuan was made a deputy team leader due to his outstanding performance during the co-op program.
Students who participated in the co-op program can serve us much better and are more useful to us than ordinary college graduates.
The co-op program benefits employers by providing experienced employees. Also, it provides students who need financial assistance a means to get an education while making money.
I wanted something that could allow me to pursue an education while providing me with financial independence.
Government statistics show that 85% of students enrolling in a co-op program will remain in the same industry upon graduation, while 60 to 70% will work for the same company.
Typically, 70% of college grads will be employed within the first year of graduation.
As they learn, they are also gaining practical experience, so once they graduate, they can start working.
Co-op programs provide students with a valuable opportunity to learn as they work, making them much more valuable to employers.
In Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers conduct regular visits at the Hualien prison to care for inmates. Starting from this past summer, volunteers began hosting different classes each week. An unexpected result of the program was that many of the inmates felt inspired to contribute what they could to help those caught in the recent Kaohsiung gas blast.
Every week, Tzu Chi volunteers visit the Hualien prison, where they arrange different classes for inmates to enjoy. The selfless giving inspired 3 inmates to use 3 months' time to draw a portrait of the Buddha and write out the Great Compassion mantra as a gift for the volunteers. Appreciating the gesture, volunteers decided to sell the item for charity.
I tried my best to draw it correctly. I chanted the Heart Sutra every day in order to draw it perfectly. It didn't occur to me that the volunteers would sell it for charity. It makes me very happy that they did that.
It makes my heart sing knowing I was given the opportunity to help. I'm very glad Tzu Chi gave me the chance to prove myself.
Inspired by Tzu Chi's selfless giving, during the recent Lunar July blessing ceremony, inmate Yang repented for his past behavior and vowed to do his best to help others in need.
I quit smoking and saved that money to donate to those affected by the Kaohsiung gas blasts. I hope to be able to contribute my part to help.
I have such great respect for them. Their hearts were inspired to do good deeds. Seeing them do something for others is like lighting up one's own inner heart to shine on others.
Hualien prison inmates atone for their wrongdoings by contributing to charity and continuing the cycle of love.
Recently, the Tzu Chi Singapore chapter organized a New Shoe Scholarship Award ceremony for 45 students. This year's for the first time were academic improvement awards and awards for proper value. At the end of the event, children served their parents' tea to express their gratitude for their continuous support.
Moral Character Awards,
At the Tzu Chi Singapore chapter, Tzu Chi volunteers are holding a New Shoe Scholarship Award ceremony on behalf of 45 underprivileged students. This is also the first time that students have been awarded for academic improvement and good moral character.
I have been encouraging him to study hard. When he studies hard, he will improve.
I will work hard to make my parents proud so that they can be happy and proud of me.
Your act of compassion to reach out to members of society who are in need is indeed admirable and worthy of respect. Please join me in giving this humble organization a big round of applause.
The purpose of these awards is to encourage impoverished students to improve not only academically, but also character-wise.
Children, please bow to your parents.
During the ceremony, children offer parents a cup of tea to thank them for their years of hard work and dedication.
To achieve whatever you want to achieve in life, and mommy will always support you all through the way.
And study hard for the future.
I promise to be a good kid. Sometimes when I'm hungry, my stomach will growl. I'll just drink a lot of water.
The father of scholarship recipient张庭豪makes a living as a truck driver. Knowing that his father pulls in a limited income, Zhang never complains about his situation. In fact, before the blue and white clad angels walked into his life, Zhang often had to go to school on empty stomach.
I won't tell my mother when I don't have enough money. I don't want to make her worry.
To take some of the burden off his parents' shoulders, besides studying hard in school, 16-year-old Zhang Tinghao also helps with household chores.
He's a very thoughtful child. When I'm busy working, he'll help me with the household chores and finish his homework.
When I started doing household chores, I finally realized the hardship my mother goes through. There are a lot of things she needs to tend to every day.
Thankfully, since 2011, Zhang has been receiving a Tzu Chi scholarship and no longer has to worry about meals and transportation. Furthermore, this year, Zhang was awarded the Morality Award for his filial attitude.
He's a good kid and very thoughtful too. We always share with him the concept that he needs to reciprocate the love he has received by helping others in the future.
In fact, the seeds of compassion have already flourished in this family's heart. Despite living a frugal lifestyle, they have already been donating to their Tzu Chi bamboo coin banks.
When my customers pay me, I will donate some of the change to the bamboo coin bank. The Tzu Chi Foundation has already helped many needy people. I will help those in greater need within my ability.
Zhang Qinghao even invites his classmates to practice recycling at a Tzu Chi recycling station.
I always keep in mind that I need to give back to society. I know that the power of one person is not enough, so we need to gather more people to contribute their love.
Always keeping a positive attitude, regardless of the obstacles along the road to education, Zhang Qinghao promised to study hard so he can create a better future for himself and his family.
I want to find a good job so I can take care of mom and dad.
When the people around us eat meat, adopting a vegetarian diet is not always easy. But in Jakarta, Indonesia, 18-year-old Lavina Sastras has been a vegetarian for 2 months now. She changed her meat-eating diet after she began rehearse for the sign language adaptation of the Sutra of Profound Gratitude to Parents and has shown much devotion to her new diet since then. Let's take a look. Lavina Sastras practiced signing with the Tzu Chi volunteers. She has also adopted a vegetarian diet as one of the cardinal teachings of Buddhism is to take no life.
The moment I started practicing for the performance, I began eating vegetarian. I used to eat chicken, but that has been replaced with fruits and vegetables.
For Lavina Sastras, maintaining a simple vegetarian diet is not easy on campus, as most students are not vegetarians. Regardless, she remains firm.
When I go out with my friends to department stores or restaurants, they'll order what they want to eat, but I'll just order fruits and vegetables.
I support all her choices, from diet to everything else.
Lavina Sastras lives in a colorful world filled with many dazzling distractions. But the 18-year-old has taken the Dharma to heart and is not distracted. We go back to Taiwan at the end of the show, as the Mid-Autumn Festival is just around the corner. Tzu Chi volunteers travel to Xingdian and the mountainous area of Pingling District near Taipei City to hand out mooncakes to underprivileged families. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.